I had a fantastic time watching Dahmer on Netflix. Dahmer is a show about the infamous serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer. If you don't know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, he's one of the biggest serial killers in worldwide history. Um, and this show was 10 episodes, and I watched all 10 episodes in 2 days. It was so good. Y'all need to go watch this show, you guys. I've seen a lot of documentaries on Jeffrey Dahmer in my life, but this show really went into extreme detail about the victims, about Jeffrey Dahmer and his sick ways and how he committed the crimes, and it's really, really good. You guys go watch it when you get a chance. Um, Evan Peters did such a fantastic job portraying Jeffrey Dahmer. I think he will be a huge movie star. He's already a huge TV star, and everything I've seen him in, he's done a fantastic job. And when I look at interviews that Jeffrey Dahmer gave from prison, and I listen to Evan Peters portraying Jeffrey Dahmer in the show, and it's like you can't tell the voices apart. He really, really studied Jeffrey Dahmer. And I know he gave an interview saying that it was very difficult to portray Jeffrey because he is such a sicko. But he did a great job. And it's crazy that all of this happened. And I see a lot of people on social media saying racism's to blame, this is to blame, that is to blame. And I don't know. But what I do know is a lot of carelessness that went on. Some of Jeffrey Dahmer's victims were black male prostitutes. And that's how they got into his orbit. And that's how they got chopped up and eaten and had their hearts taken out. Because they were selling their ass to Jeffrey Dahmer for $50. Not saying that justifies it. Not saying it's justified, because none of those people deserve to be killed. But we have to talk about safety. We have to talk about the fact that some of these victims, the adult victims, put themselves in this position. Now, as far as the minor victims, they are not to blame in any capacity. Jeffrey Dahmer killed 3 boys, a 14-year-old boy, a 15-year-old boy, and a 17-year-old boy. And one of the boys that he killed, his first name is Kanarik. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's kind of Asian. I think he's Asian. He was an Asian boy. And I don't know which country he is from. But that boy met Jeffrey Dahmer outside a liquor store in the middle of the night. And Jeffrey, came up to him as a friend, like, hey, I could get you something out the liquor store. And the boy was excited, And then Jeffrey took him back to the house, to his apartment, and drugged him. And he actually escaped. The boy actually escaped. And when the police got to him, he was so drunk and bleeding and drugged up. And Jeffrey came outside and told the police, oh, this is my boyfriend. He's 19 years old. He gets drunk and high, and he beats himself up. And the police let the 14-year-old boy go back with Jeffrey without trying to get an ID, And they didn't do anything to stop the 14-year-old boy from being harmed. And he ended up having his brain taken out and his heart taken out. And his flesh was eaten by Jeffrey Dahmer. It's disgusting, man. Like, Jeffrey Dahmer he had to be possessed by the devil. But while I'm watching the show, what wasn't made clear to me before I watched the show was that Jeffrey Dahmer had went to jail for a year for molesting Canaric, the boy that he killed, the boy whose brain he took out, brother. So the previous year, he went to jail for molesting that boy. He had grabbed the brother a year before and molested the brother. And the parents had Jeffrey Dahmer locked up. And I just don't understand how after your son got molested, one son got molested by the serial killer and escaped. How was your other son able to get in the grips of the same serial killer? I just don't get it. You know, a lot of people was like, well, he was targeting minorities, blacks, Latinos, Asians. He was targeting minorities. Yeah, and that's true. But if I'm a parent and one child get molested by this random man and got drugged and escaped, why the hell would I let my other children wander around in the middle of the night? And how is it that one child got grabbed by Jeffrey Dahmer? He went to jail for a year. You know, he was on a work release program, so he went to work in the day, came to jail at night, and nobody at his work knew that he was arrested for molesting a boy. The judge cut him a big break. And when he got out of jail, he was able to catch his hands on the brother of the boy he molested. That's insane to me. But the parents never told the younger brother that the older brother was molested. Apparently they kept that away from the younger brother. And he didn't go to the courtroom, and he didn't really know what was going on. But nevertheless, if one child get caught and got drugged, it's no way your 14-year-old son should be out in the middle of the night looking for liquor. So again, that was bad parenting. That was unfit parents who let their children wander around. And I really felt as if the parents of the minors should have been held accountable legally. I felt as if the parents of the 14-year-old boy, especially that got killed, got his heart taken out, his brain taken out by Jeffrey Dahmer. And, you know, Jeffrey Dahmer has his brain saved in the fridge. I really believe those parents should have been arrested, even if it was for 3 weeks or 6 months, because I think they had 5 children. And I would have investigated and say, look, yes, the police failed Canaric. Yes, the police failed these minor children that got killed and eaten by Jeffrey Dahmer. But you as parents failed them as well, because you let your child run wild in the streets in the middle of the night. I have no sympathy for unfit parents. I have no sympathy for unfit parents. No 14-year-old should be standing outside the liquor store in the middle of the night. This did not have to happen, man. That was one of the saddest things I saw. That was one of the saddest things I saw. Man, Jeffrey Dahmer was a psycho. I wonder what happened to him. Was he demon possessed? It had to be a demon possession. Because as a human being, how do you kill somebody, take out their brain, take out their heart, chop their penis off, have it saved in the refrigerator? Like, who thinks to do something so demonic? You know? But that's the world we live in. I really think that if y'all have children, you should watch Dahmer with your children, so that they understand that this is why you can't go out by yourself in the middle of the night. This is why you can't talk to strangers. This is why I can't send you here to spend the night over nobody's house. Because it's sickos like this roaming around. This was 30 years ago. But what applied 30 years ago still applies now. You cannot let your children roam around at nighttime. How, man, man, I feel so bad. I bet that boy was in so much pain, man. And for the police to take that child back to Jeffrey Dahmer. Man, that's sick. And they got suspended. The two cops got suspended, but they were back at work. One of them just retired in like 2018. So they went back to work. Like nothing fucking happened. Nothing fucking happened. According to them motherfuckers. They live their lives as if they didn't allow a child to get chopped up and brain taken out. I mean, I couldn't imagine the pain, man. I couldn't imagine. But I said, like, when I was watching the show, I said, yeah, the parents should have been held accountable. I think the police should have been arrested. I think the parents should have been arrested. I think Jeffrey Dahmer's parents should have been arrested. I think a lot of people should have been held accountable. So the justice system did fail. So, yeah, watch the show with your kids, you know. Watch the show with your kids and help them to understand that they got to conduct themselves in a righteous manner when they get out here in these streets. Don't go up there talking to no strangers. Don't take no drink from no strangers. Don't take no candy. All that trick-or-treating people be doing and sending their kids up to random. You don't know what people are doing. Don't send your kids to go to no random neighborhood and trick-or-treat. They could get kidnapped and snatched up, you know. Man, God bless the dead. God bless the dead. 3 minor boys killed by Jeffrey Dahmer. And another man who got killed was Jeffrey Dahmer's boyfriend. Jeffrey Dahmer had a black deaf boyfriend who really cared about him. And in episode 6, you're going to see how their relationship started. And he really liked Jeffrey, really loved him. They were spending time together. They were going out to eat. And he still killed him. And I was sad about that too. I was like, dang. He killed the one person that really loved him and was really trying to be with him. That was sad, man. The other men that were the prostitutes that he was killing, he didn't really know them. He just brought them back to the apartment saying he was going to give them $50, and he drugged them and, you know, ate their flesh. But this one that was his boyfriend, I said, wow. He killed his own boyfriend. That man was a demon, man. Oh my God. That man was a fucking demon. Wow, y'all. Anyway, I can't give away all the stuff that happened, but you gotta go watch that show, y'all. Go watch Dahmer on Netflix. I think it's the #1 show streaming in the country now. 10 episodes. You could split it up throughout the week, but it's crazy, man. Man. Oh, wow. Oh, and the first episode shows how he got caught. And then they went back in time for the rest of the episodes. But the first episode, that man, what was his name? I think his name was Edwards. His last name was Edwards. He escaped and he ran to the police. And when the police came in Jeffrey Dahmer's house, the apartment that he was living in, they found the bodies and they arrested him. So that black man escaping and running straight to the police was the reason why it all stopped. And he ended up getting arrested for murder in 2011, I think. The man who escaped, Jeffrey Dahmer, he ended up having a lot of mental problems. And he ended up being homeless, and he ended up killing another homeless man. I don't know if he's still in jail. I think he got a manslaughter charge, but it's just so sad, the lives that have been ruined. But anyway, I could talk all day about that show, so I'm going to just leave it alone and tell y'all, go watch Dahmer on Netflix. Really, really great show. Shout out to Evan Peters. You did a fantastic job as Dahmer.